Okay. I'm going to start off by saying that this is my opinion alone. My statement, no one else's, does not reflect family members, friends, work, or anything like that. This is just me. Um, so I'm going to say something a little controversial here. The the election definitely was stolen. Definitely. Most definitely. There was definitely election fraud going on. It's a given. It's an absolute given. And you know why? You got to explain to me how. Hold on, sorry, I got to put this down. You got to explain to me how he can get over 40 million votes in 2016. There's no way he could have gotten over 40 million votes. Impossible. Virtually impossible. This is not a man that's that popular across the United States of America. No way. Specifically in the South, considering he made fun of people in the South, considering the fact that he's made fun of people throughout the entire country, basically, practically. It's it's by far fraud. That's all I can say. Because I mean, seriously, first, there's no way he should have won the Republican nomination in 2016. Him and Jeb Bush, it had to have been a vote election fraud at that point. And the fact is like, think about it this way. And especially the fact is like 2016 with the voter fraud that went over there. And he even tried to look into it. It was like, hey, look, there's no way she had that much. I should have had more than her on the popular vote. He was thinking about, he was saying, yeah, there was election fraud. I had to be more popular than her. He had the most popular votes. He had to have. He looked into it. He had basically people looking into it. But we never heard anything as a result. Did we? Did we? Because why? Maybe because he found out there was actual election fraud, and the fact was it was on the opposite end where the fraud was occurring on his end, basically where he was being elected illegally. 2020 comes around. Of course, he's saying, "Oh, there's election fraud. The election was stolen." Well, yes, there was election fraud. The election was stolen in 2016, of course. The election was not stolen in 2020. But there was election fraud, and definitely, most definitely, here's the thing. Again, 40 million plus votes. There's no way. They looked into it. When they looked into it at one point in Michigan specifically, they noticed that there were some irregularities where it wasn't towards Biden, but it was really towards Trump, basically, where to the point where like he was getting more votes. Like one person voted more than once for Trump, and that's impossible. So the real question is, and notice that no one pursued it after at that point to the point where like Republican base chose not to look further into it. They were trying to like basically look into other areas basically, but not all the rest of the country. And why is that? They knew full well there was election fraud towards Trump basically, to the point where like not towards Trump, but like for Trump basically. To the point where like he still it's essentially to the point where like there was cases of people basically mysteriously voting for Trump when they were registered Democrats or registered independents for that matter. And then there was cases where like, you had people basically going in and getting paid to vote for Trump. How? There were people online basically, and like, people would come and say, I'll pay you $100 or $50 to vote for Trump. They're like, okay, what harm could I do? Quick $50 on there, and that's not a problem for them, or $25 for that matter. Another aspect is as well too, like, people would go in, vote as themselves, go and see someone else online, like, hey, I'll vote for you. Boom, go and vote for Trump as well too, even though they meant to be voting for Hillary or for Joe Biden. So it's pretty surprising that we're not seeing much of this occurring at this point right now, where like they're not saying, hey, Trump should be not doing that. Trump is, like it's very frustrating. Sorry to say at least that like he keeps saying, yeah, the election was stolen from him. In reality, the election was stolen. He stole the election in 2016, and he was about to steal the election in 2020. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed. The real thing is like honestly, if these news organizations, reporters, investigative journalism were actually to look into it more further, they probably would see a lot more fraud that was for Trump, basically, to the point where like, people were legally voting for Trump. Look for it in 2016, but the problem is no one's wanting to do that. Why? Because they know if they do that, then they know the system is broken, which we know it is, but they don't. That this solidifies it at that point. So all I gotta say is this: is basically yes, there was election fraud. The election was stolen. Yeah, stolen in 2016, and fraud in 2020 as well too. There's no way Donald Trump gets 40 million votes twice, over 40 million votes twice, in two separate election years. Um, and honestly, we were looking at supposedly the red wave of all this stuff, because of Trump. Reality, look what happened. It wasn't as big of a wave as they thought. It was probably a trickling effect, basically. And they all thought because of Trump. In reality, no, everyone's going against Trump. That's why, even look at Fox News Corp Media. They're dumping Trump. They're going to DeSantis, basically. They know full well that Trump won't win. Everyone's like realizing what Trump is now, and he's pretty much a liar, pretty much fraud. So boom, that's why. That's why you won't see many Fox News correspondents actually supporting Trump in this claim now, as the election was stolen, basically. And that's my rant. Again, unedited, unfiltered, and unrehearsed. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want. All on you. No pressure.